On this episode, we challenge Galaxy's Edge versus the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Today is July 21st, 2022. This is episode 480 of the Main Street Magic Podcast.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts. Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Main Street Magic. I am your host, Jeremy Stein, and I am joined by my lovely wife, Rhonda.
Hey, guys.
Make sure you check us out on the web at mainstmagic.com, as well as follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at mainstmagic. If you've not done so already, head out to Facebook and search for the Main Street Magic community and ask to join. Then if you hit that subscribe button, you're going to get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. If you did not get that must-have dining reservation at your 60 days out, do not worry, do not fret. Mouse Dining removes the frustration of booking Disney dining reservations, alerting you when they spot availability for your desired restaurant, date, meal, and time. Visit msmfriends.com to use this free service. And then if you're getting ready to plan that next Disney or Universal vacation, you're looking to go on a cruise or pretty much travel anywhere else in the world, head to mainstmagictravel.com and fill out a form for a free quote. Our travel services are completely free to you. We are super excited to announce that room blocks are now available to book for our second annual Main Street 16 Challenge Weekend, which is February 2nd to 5th, 2023. You can book at the Wyndham Lake Buena Vista Tower for about 40% off the normal rate and half-priced resort fee. Head to mainstreet16.com to learn more about the weekend and the rooms and book today.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about Galaxy's Edge and the wizarding world.
That's a mouthful. It's a tongue twister, isn't it?
It sure is. But first, we are sitting out at the cottage in Margaritaville that we're staying out.
Beautiful.
It is. We're outside and, just looking across the pool and the man-made lake, but still very, very pretty. It's a little sticky, but it's Florida.
It's hot already.
Yeah.
We did the pool yesterday, and we'll do kind of a trip review, and we'll talk about you going to Universal, and we'll talk about Rhonda's birthday and Lacey's birthday.
And
happy birthday yesterday, by the way.
And I will say we do apologize for getting this out a little later today, but
yesterday was packed full of fun and birthday stuff. So
it was like once we woke up, it was just all right.
Here we go. We've got a little time now here this morning. So we set up the equipment out back by the pool, and I don't even know what we're doing today. We're going back to the big pool again, I think, today.
I think the plan is to go back to the big pool because when we were at Universal on Wednesday, it was, so many people.
It was nuts.
So we have Express Pass after 4.
Yeah.
So we actually were like, all right, we rode Velocicoaster and then
we
basically came over to the cottage. So with that being said, I think we're going to try to go to the big pool this morning and then around 2 or so come back and then get ready to go to Universal.
And head over. Okay.
And then I think.
That sounds good to me. And so today this is actually an idea that came from Dudes Dish Disney podcast. And they did an episode on this pretty much same thing. And I was like, hey, do you mind if I steal this idea? And they're like, no, go for it. But obviously want to give them credit. And what we're going to do is we're going to kind of talk, almost vote, match up, I guess, Galaxy's Edge versus Wizarding World and see who comes out as the better overall land. Just for a little background, a Harry Potter themed, this is from Wiki, a Harry Potter themed attraction at either a Disney or Universal park was rumored in 2003. However, the rights to the Harry Potter franchise had been acquired by Warner Brothers, who denied these rumors. Both Disney and Universal entered bidding negotiations with Warner Brothers and Rowling for the theme park rights to Harry Potter. In 2004, Rowling signed a letter of intent with Disney, with the company intending to develop a Harry Potter section within an area of Fantasyland at the Magic Kingdom Park at Walt Disney World. Imagine that.
Wow.
In January 2007, About.com reported a rumor from a highly credible source that the island's park's Lost Continent area was going to be rethemed to the stories and characters of one of the most popular children's franchises. Other sources followed up the next few days with unofficial confirmation that the new area would involve Harry Potter. On May 31st, 2007, Universal, in partnership with Warner Brothers, officially announced the Wizarding World of Harry Potter would be added to Islands of Adventure. So this was added to Islands of Adventure and opened June 18th, 2010. Then the other side on Universal Studios Florida side opened July 8th, 2014.
Wow.
As far as Galaxy's Edge goes, we got this open in Disneyland out west, May 31st, 2019. This replaced Big Thunder Ranch. And then we got it in Disney's Hollywood Studios here in Walt Disney World. This opened August 29th, 2019, and replaced the Streets of America. We were there.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That was amazing. That was one of my favorite openings we've ever been to.
That was cool.
I remember getting up at 3 a.m., lining up at 4 a.m., them slowly letting us into Galaxy's Edge, and just cast members and Imagineers and executives lining the streets there, getting into Galaxy's Edge and like applauding and clapping. Like cool. It was such a cool experience. I missed that. Like we didn't get that with Cosmic Rewind, you know? Would you have gladly or preferred to have gotten up at 3 a.m. and made our way to Epcot and had that opening day excitement? Whereas instead we just got up and it was like, oh, cool, we got a lightning lane and we got a virtual queue, which was awesome. Mm-hmm. And we got to ride it twice opening day. But I truly miss the excitement. Yeah. What do you think? Do you like those? Because we've done it for every major opening in the past 5 years.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, because it always worked out and, you know, you get tired throughout the day a little bit because you get up that early, but you do have that neat feeling and that neat, like, especially when you see the cast members so excited and everything.
Yeah, I mean, they've worked so hard for all this.
Oh, yeah.
I will say our AP preview of Cosmic Rewind had that energy.
Yeah.
Like everybody in the coaster and our ride was
true.
You know, like the gasps.
Yes.
In the room in the pre-shows. And then on the ride, everybody's cheering and excited. And like, so we kind of got it there, but all right, let's start first with the lands. And it's impossible for Galaxy's Edge to beat Wizarding World at this point because of the fact that there are 2 Wizarding World lands.
I agree.
One in each park.
And the one thing that Universal, I feel like, does do well with these lands is you cannot see anything else. Like you're not in, you know, the Harry Potter one of the islands or Universal side, and you don't see other things.
I'm gonna disagree with you on this one.
Why?
Because Galaxy's Edge shuts itself off from everything. You can't see anything else from Galaxy's Edge. At one point, I think you can see like 1 inch of a rail when you're in the queue for Millennium Falcon. You can legit stand in Hogsmeade and see Jurassic World's entrance. You can legit... You know, legit sit outside of the bar area there and see Velocicoaster in full. And the transition from Lost Continent, for example, into Hogsmeade is 0. And same thing over on the studio side with Diagon Alley. Now, when you walk into Diagon Alley, yes, that is fully immersed. You can't see anything else. But you're standing outside of those buildings at first, and it's like, oh, Simpsons Land. There's San Francisco. Yeah. So...
I think I was meaning more like when, you were in it. Like.
Gotcha. You're not even talking entrance and exits. I think their entrance and exits are done extremely poorly as far as transporting you into a new world. Again, Diagon Alley is amazing when you walk through that entrance, but when you're outside of it, just looking at the buildings, and you can do a 180 turn and see all of the Simpsons Land, I don't care for personally.
Yeah, and I understand that. But at the same time, if you go straight to, you don't even go in like in one of them. If you go straight to the train.
Yeah.
And then you ride the train to.
Oh, that. Yes. Yeah. Hogwarts Express to and from.
Go back and ride it. I feel like that, like I said, and I felt like, I guess I meant more like when you're in the center of the streets. Gotcha. You like look around and you don't see anything else.
Agree there 100%. You're completely correct.
Unfortunately, you go to Hogsmeade, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where the bar, you go there, you go to eat. And yeah, I mean, you do see Velocicoaster and that kind of sucks. But I mean, there's nothing they can do.
There's absolutely nothing. So, this is all based on land.
Right.
In space.
Right.
I do think Galaxy's Edge does do a better job of entrance and exit. I understand you can be exiting at the one area of Galaxy's Edge and see Toy Story Land coming up. Yeah. But I think it still does a good transition. Yeah. But the simple fact is there is a lot more Wizarding World to enjoy than there is Galaxy's Edge. So I 100% think Wizarding World beats it out on just land in general.
Right.
What about theming for you? Because Wizarding World is straight themed to the movies. Disney, in my opinion, went the wrong route.
Off the cuff.
Yeah, they went the wrong route by saying we're going to create a new story within the Star Wars universe that really nobody's going to care about unless maybe you're a super diehard fan. I don't think they built this land for the average or non-fan, and I think they should have. I feel like they built it more for a super fan that wants to get even more into the canon in the story of Star Wars.
Right.
And so you created a land that nobody identifies with. Like, how do you feel about the overall theming? Especially you being, I mean, I'd say you're a much bigger Harry Potter fan than Star Wars fan overall, probably.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Yeah.
What do you
Absolutely.
think of the overall theming and being immersed in each of these lands, and which one is better for you?
Well, Harry Potter is for sure.
Yeah.
I think what is also amazing is that they have these interactive wands that then, I mean, you look like you're doing magic, and it's super fun all throughout both places. I love it. That's so fun to me. And I know that there's some interactive stuff, but I think it's your phone, right? Throughout.
Yeah, you have like the
Galaxy's
data
Edge.
pad and
Yeah.
but it's
And that's not
so
something I want
it's
to
such
do.
a second thought.
Yeah.
What I feel like happened after seeing all the stuff aboard the Star Cruiser and that experience is I feel like Disney gave us everything we thought we were going to get in Galaxy's Edge
on the Star Cruiser.
Yeah. From character interaction, from shows, from food,
Right.
the interactive abilities of being able to actually live out an adventure. I thought that's what we were getting with Batuu and Galaxy's Edge.
Well, and back to that, yes, I am a bigger Harry Potter fan than Star Wars, but I do think it's super cool, the Star Wars, when you see the Millennium Falcon.
Oh, it's amazing.
And then you go and you go in and you can actually like drive it, which is super cool.
Yeah. Who has grown up not wanting to do that.
And then, you see Chewie, and it's just, that's super fun.
Yeah, I love Galaxy's Edge. I really, really do. And I think it is extremely well done. But you walk into Wizarding World and you go, I'm in the movie.
Yeah.
You walk into Galaxy's Edge and you go, I'm in a place that reminds me a little bit of some of the movies.
Well, and I feel like, and not so much, I feel like I'm in the movie as much as like, I feel like there's going to be a movie shot here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that aspect
Yeah.
of it.
You
know
mean,
what I mean?
At Galaxy's Edge,
Yeah.
you mean? Yes.
Yeah.
It looks like a movie set
Yes.
for
Whereas-
a Star Wars movie that never happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
But Wizarding World, like, I remember because the first time I went to Wizarding World, I actually had not seen the Harry Potter movies.
Yeah.
And I thought it was incredible. We go home, and I did it backwards. We watch the movies, and I'm watching the movie going, I recognize that from Universal
Yeah.
Studios. I recognize that from Islands of Adventure. And then I remember going back again into the lands in the Wizarding World and being like, holy moly, like, this is the movie.
Yep.
I connect myself as though I am participating in that movie now.
Well, and what's really cool about that too is JK was very much, I think, the head over this entire land.
Yeah. Yeah.
In each one. And it had to be passed by her first. Whereas if you want a butterbeer and you don't want the topping that comes on it, frozen or regular, too bad.
Yeah.
It is sold and it is given that way because of JK.
Yeah.
Now, if you're like, I don't want it, they'll hand it to you. They'll also hand you a spoon and usually an extra cup so you can just dig it up, just dig it off the top and throw it into the other cup and throw it away if you'd like. Or some people may just like that part the most and they just eat it.
I don't know if I love that part or I don't.
Because again, like you go to the bar, apparently you can get a butterbeer and you can get a shot of fire whiskey, but they will not mix it together.
Right.
They will let you do it.
Yeah. And really, you're
So-
not supposed to do it in front of a team member.
Correct.
I mean, we were even told stories of like a sign that needs to be replaced and it will not be replaced until she signs off on it, which I can very much appreciate.
Yeah.
You can say what you want about her. We won't get into that stuff, but I do appreciate that it is so detailed and that she feels like, well, she created this world that she wants you to experience exactly the way it's supposed to be experienced. There is not fire whiskey in a butterbeer in the movie.
No.
You know what I mean? And like, so, or the way the signage is done, they're even talking about when they have to transfer things, like if they're bringing napkins or cups from one area to the other, it's transported in something that is still kind of themed to the land. It's
That's
not like
cool.
you're just going to see a team member just walking around with a handful of napkins. There's a
Yeah.
certain way it has to be done so it doesn't break all that theming. So, yeah, Wizarding World, hands down, I think destroys Galaxy's Edge as far as theming because of the fact that it truly is based on the movies that everyone knows and loves.
Yeah.
I think Galaxy's Edge is ridiculously well themed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just putting it on the fact that I wanted to be enthralled and put and immersed into a movie. And unfortunately,
Okay.
Galaxy's Edge didn't do that. And I think it's their biggest fault. Also, what I think is very, very odd is that they did every detail to theme Galaxy's Edge, even down to cast members saying like, oh, so what planet are you from? You know,
Right.
what world are you from?
Right.
And then they lost all opportunity for merchandise bagging because the bags are the same Disney bags you see everywhere.
Yeah.
If that would have been an entire black bag, matte black bag with like a tiny gold emblem representing like Black Spire Outpost or
Yeah.
Batu or something, that would have been so cool. That's the one thing I think is so weird that they broke all theming up.
Well, and not to mention, not only that, but Star Tours. That literally is
Such a missed opportunity.
still, I mean, and it's cool and where it's at and everything, but it's just, to me now, it doesn't make sense when I ride it. Like, especially when we get
It lands in Batu.
I just started to say, when you get whatever that thing is
Yeah.
called and it lands in Batu,
I
like
know.
it's like, now some of them don't. You
No.
still get some of them where they just land wherever on a
Yeah,
ship or whatever.
right,
but,
right.
But there's those that literally land in Batu. And then once you get off the ride, you have to walk to it.
Yeah. I wish that they had destroyed, especially Adam, he's going to yell at me, Muppets Courtyard. And that's where they had built, started basically Galaxy's Edge, where
Tony
you could
might
still
yell at
have.
you too.
I know. I'm sorry, Tony. You could still have two entrances. You could still have an entrance from Toy Story Land, but then your other entrance, and the logistics probably wouldn't work, obviously, with crowds. You'd have to ride Star Tours.
Yeah.
So it would literally be as though you were getting on Star Tours at Hollywood Studios and Walt Disney World,
Yep.
but then you're landing in Batu at the end on screen, and then you step out and boom, you're right there at like the entrance to Rise of Resistance
100%.
or something. That would have been super freaking cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of rides, again, let's not talk about the quantity of rides, but let's talk about the quality of rides. We've got Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. We got Rise of the Resistance, right?
Yep.
Then over in Wizarding World, we've got Flight of Hippogriff. We've got Forbidden Journey. We've got Gringotts. We've got Hagrid's.
Mm-hmm.
What wins
the-
out in overall
the train.
quality of rides? The Hogwarts Express. I mean, again, obviously, Wizarding World wins on the amount of rides,
Yeah.
but is the quality of ride, do you think, better at Wizarding World or better in Galaxy's Edge?
I think Wizarding World because, I love
I'm gonna have to
Hagrid's.
agree.
I love Hagrid's. It's so fun, and I'm gonna say it like my girlfriend Tina says it. Galaxy's Edge is experiences.
Yeah.
It's not like roller coasters and rides. Like
Right. I mean, you
that
have your moving
fun.
vehicle on Rise, but you're still
Right.
heavily relying on the overall experience as
Right.
opposed. You're not riding
Whereas-
Rise because of the vehicle.
right.
You're riding it because of the experience.
Whereas Hagrid's is
And Forbidden Journey and Gringotts. I think all three of those you're riding for not only the experience, but the vehicle.
Yeah.
Because it is a
Well,
ride.
I like the Escape to Gringotts better than Forbidden Journey.
I agree.
I don't like if I don't ever have to ride that one, that's fine. But I do love riding Escape to Gringotts. But and somebody else has actually said that we wish there was more ride where it'll ride and you'll stop and there'll be a screen and there'll be some stuff and then you go again. And I think I agree with that where I wish it was more of a
Do you wish it was more like Cosmic Rewind? It's the most comparable thing as far as ride vehicle goes.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so. Just because like I just said, like you literally go and then you stop
Yeah.
and then you go again, and then you stop, and then you go again, and you stop.
Yeah, you stop for all these show scenes.
Yeah, which is fine because the show scenes are great, but
Yeah.
So.
I mean,
Whereas, like, all right, if you want to compare it to like Escape to Gringotts for me to, oh my gosh, the Galaxy's Edge one.
Rise.
Yes, thank you. To Rise, like at least there's show scenes and stuff, but for for most of it, when you're in the ride vehicle, you continue to move.
Right.
It's not like you stop and watch.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I don't think there's any question that Rise of the Resistance is one of the greatest theme park attractions that's ever been created. But I don't think it does enough to beat out all that Wizarding World offers, because unfortunately, Millennium Falcon is very hit or miss. Again, I don't feel that Millennium Falcon delivers on what we were promised. I love the fact that you can actually control it. I love the fact that it's almost choose your own adventure, and it can be a little bit different each time, and you know how many of the containers you actually get. But if you have bad pilots, the ride is ruined.
Yeah.
And that's tough.
Yeah.
That's really tough. And I think that is a huge downfall to that ride.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what else you could do. Maybe you make the controls a little bit easier. They are a little difficult to manage, especially when you have two pilots, one controlling up, down, one controlling left, right.
Or you, like you've said in the past 100 times, like you go, I just want to ride and watch. I don't want to do this.
Yeah, maybe I don't want to participate.
Then what do you call it? It goes to manual or automatic or whatever.
I wish you had. I do wish you had a setting where you could say, I would like for my position, even if it's just your position, to be automatic.
Right.
I mean, yeah, Gringotts, absolutely incredible. I think the ride system on Forbidden Journey, the ride itself, I do enjoy, but I'm blown away by that ride system. And then Hagrid's is, I mean, again, it's top 3 attraction that I've ever been on.
Yeah.
It is mind-blowing.
Yeah.
It is still one, and if you haven't ridden it, I'm trying not to spoil anything, but there is a moment that you could ride 100 times, and I think on the 100th time, you're still looking around going, wait, how?
Yeah.
Like, how did this happen? And it's still exhilarating every single time.
It's crazy. It's amazing.
I absolutely love it. So Wizarding World, I mean, we've got 5 things listed. It's already won the first 3.
Oh.
Let's move on to shopping. For me, Galaxy's Edge takes this one because the little marketplace that they have created truly feels immersive and like you're on another planet and you're shopping for out of this world, pun intended, items, right?
Yeah.
I do think it's so cool, and I guess this kind of borders on food. I think it's cool. You can walk into Honeyduke's, you know, you can walk into the Weasley's candy shop, like ice cream, Ollivander's wand shop is really, man, what do you think? Because now I don't know. Again, there's so much more to offer at Wizarding World.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, I would say the biggest thing that to me would win over Galaxy's Edge is literally going to pick a wand.
I know.
And prior to COVID, and now everything is obviously trying to come back, and I believe it possibly is.
I think it's back to normal.
We haven't checked. Yeah. But you go in, there's a group, and one person will be picked. You don't know if it's you or not. And they literally, just like when Harry went to go get his wand and tried different ones, they do the exact same thing. And then the wand picks you. And it is, I mean, I'll never forget when Lacey did it.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
It was the coolest thing.
I literally teared
tears.
up. Yeah. It was amazing. And then, of course, you know, you have the opportunity to buy that one, or you have the opportunity to say no. And like after that experience, dude, you can't say no. You have to have it. You have to take it.
So you're picking
on.
Wizarding World though for shopping overall. I think I'm now leaning that way.
I think so because of Ollivander's. Like I like, you know, I love going into the shops where the cloaks are. You know, that's super cool.
I think Wizarding World wins. I think you're right. I really appreciate what Galaxy's Edge created.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool. I like that you can get you can adopt animals and stuff, and you can buy these
because Kaylin did that.
They look like handmade crafts from, you know, the people who inhabit Batu. But again, we're talking about putting you into the story. And that's what Wizarding World does. It truly immerses you into the movies that you know and love with stuff like Ollivanders and Honeydukes and buying a cloak. It really does.
And then go over to, the other one. There's not a ton over there as it is easier, I feel like. Which is it? Islands or...
Yeah, over at Islands of Adventure in Hogsmeade.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty evened out. I definitely think shopping throughout Diagon Alley it really does again feel so much more immersive.
Remember, then you can go down into the dark part. And
oh, yes. Man, Wizarding World is really good.
Yeah.
Okay. Last
that's
item.
with all the Death Eaters and
I forgot about that area almost. That is incredible.
It is. It's so
that goes back to
dark
theming
too.
Yeah, that goes back to theming and how much it just blows you away and immerses you within it.
Oh, it is totally immersed because it's totally,
I do think Galaxy's Edge, in my opinion, wins hands down on the food. Oga's Cantina, Docking Bay 7.
Yeah, that's true.
Ronto Roasters.
Yeah.
I think these are incredibly well done. They're incredibly themed. And I think the food is absolutely outstanding. We've enjoyed Three Broomsticks. We've enjoyed Leaky Cauldron. But I don't think they're changing the game with what they did there.
I agree.
They did over at Galaxy's Edge. You agree?
Yes, I 100% agree on that one. Because the food is just, I don't want to say the food is just food, but it's very similar to, you have the fish and chips, which is fantastic, but they're at both places.
Right.
The meat pies that Kaylin loves, great.
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know, it's just simple and it's, to me, not...
I mean, it's well themed. It is themed to Harry Potter.
Yeah.
But what they created over in Galaxy's Edge, I think, is just on a whole other level. And the quality, you sit down at Docking Bay 7.
Yeah.
The only difference between Docking Bay 7 being a quick service and a table service is the fact that you go up and order your food and you don't sit down and get waited on. Quality of food, if somebody literally just sat you down like blindfolded and put that food in front of you, you'd be looking around like, oh, where's my waiter? I need a refill in my drink. You'd be like, you don't have waiters here, dude. And you'd be like, what?
Yeah.
This is table service quality food.
Yeah.
Ronto breakfast wrap, one of my favorite items out of any theme park I've ever been to. Right?
Yeah. That's something that you go back to and you're like, we're going to Hollywood today. You're like, okay, then I want a Ronto wrap, like
for sure.
Absolutely. It's not a like, oh, should we get one? No, we're going to Hollywood. We're getting one.
We're getting one. Yeah. And Oga's Cantina is just incredible and so well done. I wish it was larger, but at the same time, it being so small and hard to get into is part of the appeal. But again, you can't deny that Oga's Cantina is amazing. Like, I remember the first times being in there, you really felt like, is like a lightsaber fight going to break out?
Yeah.
I was like, somebody can start shooting? What's going on here?
And the drinks and the food and everything is just so amazing.
Very well done. we have Rob staring at us from inside, and he's making faces. So that's why we're laughing out back.
He just
at least everybody's up.
His booty there, too.
Oh, he just showed his booty. I missed the booty.
Yeah.
All right. Well, overall, I think we agree that Wizarding World, hands down, beats out Galaxy's Edge.
I almost don't felt like when you first told me this, and I'm not going to lie, and I'm going to go ahead and tell everybody.
It's not a fair battle.
That's what I was just going to say. When you told me, I was like, we're going to do what? That's not even fair. Harry's going to be like, I'm on top, dude.
Seriously.
I'm out. Like, I'm winning.
If we get, there's always rumored expansions or rumors about expansions at Galaxy's Edge. There's additional rides that didn't happen due to budget cuts. There's definitely stuff that missed out due to budget cuts. There's just all of that. I still think there's an opportunity and, for Galaxy's Edge to expand. I don't know, though, that it could ever beat out Wizarding World. I wish that whoever needs to at Disney, I don't know if it's Bob, if it's Josh, whoever, I wish they would sit down and go, listen, guys, we effed up on our idea for Galaxy's Edge. Let's just pivot. Because the fact is, it needs to be made for the casual fan. The casual fan is not going to care if they walk in and see Darth Vader, and then on the other side of the park, they see Kylo Ren. They're not going to care about timelines. They just want to see. They're not going to care if they see Grogu and Mando and then see Han.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, they're not going to care if they see Rey and then they see Princess Leia.
Right.
They just want to see the characters.
Yeah.
Let us be in the story. Let us meet them. That's fine if you don't want them right next to each other and you kind of separate them, based on the size of this land and all, but just let Darth Vader walk around and let Kylo Ren walk around. Nobody's really going to be mad at you. And if there's a diehard Star Wars fan that is, then I'm sorry. The park, this was not built for them, or it shouldn't have been, I don't think.
Okay.
I
go
think
to
you
the
need,
Star Cruiser.
Yeah, exactly. I think
That's where those need to go.
You need to have the casual fan walk in or the non-fan and love it. And I think a non-fan is going to walk in and be like, where's Darth Vader? I've heard of that guy and I've seen him. So that would be cool. You know what I mean? That's who people want to see.
Yeah. He's
over at Launch Bay again. What?
Oh, is he?
Launch Bay is reopened for character and meet and greets and all.
And that's so far away too.
Right.
There's just so, I don't know. I mean, that, like I said, and it is funny when you said, like, when you're standing by the bus for Harry Potter, you see Simpsons over here, you see the Men in Black, I get that. But like, golly, if you really go.
At least it's all there though.
Right. If you go to now compare, like, all right, so Star Tours is over here.
Right.
And then you have, what's the other one that we were just, oh my God. Launch Bay. Thank you. That's over back behind.
Complete other side of the park.
Yeah.
Think about you taking your kid in. And you go into Galaxy's Edge, and your kid is like, looks at me and is like, Daddy, this is really cool. I want to meet Darth Vader. And I go, all right, son, we're going to go walk to the other side of the park.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'd be like, what?
Yeah.
Why is Darth Vader just not here?
Yep.
We're in Star Wars land. No, he's over in Launch Bay, a completely separate thing that has nothing to do with immersiveness. It's basically a museum.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, poor Galaxy's Edge. I do love Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
I do love Rise of the Resistance. I still think it's the best ride out there, best attraction out there, best experience out there. But boy, Wizarding World really stepped up the game to just... And Galaxy's Edge was built because of Wizarding World, I feel like. Disney was like, we got to do something like that. We got Star Wars now. This is perfect. And then one guy at the table was like, let's do it completely differently. And everybody was like, well, you know that Wizarding World is hugely successful and everybody loves it, right? Yeah, I don't want to do that. Let's do something completely different.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, he's like he's the son of like Bob Iger or something at the point. They're like, we got to listen to what he says. Otherwise Dad will get mad at us. I don't know. But all right, we got to get ready for the pool. We got to get ready for more adventures, more birthday week extravaganzas. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Lacey this week. Did you have a good birthday?
I did. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we'll discuss more. We got to eat at the Wharf at Sunset Walk.
Yeah, that was super.
Spoiler alert, amazing. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about Margaritaville. We'll talk about the cottages. We'll do a little trip review once we get back on Sunday. So thank you guys so much for joining. If you've not done so already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Get these brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. Sometimes they're on time. Other times they're like today. Oh, somebody's firing something up over here. I like doing these though. I like just being like on location.
Okay.
While you're out there subscribing, we would absolutely love and be very, very thankful if you check out wonderlandcrew.com for our Patreon group, and you might as well leave us a rating and review
because it'll help our show grow.
That's all we've got. We'll see you real soon.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts. Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.